Hello. So today I wanted to talk about MapleStory's current accessibility situation and suggest a few ideas that could be done to further improve it. Nexon has done a good job already with addressing issues in the past, notably the Tower of Oz's Floor 24, a stage that required you to listen to BGMs and type in the corresponding town that it was tied to. This proved to be difficult for players hard of hearing. In order to solve this, Nexon added text-based hints on the location. Additionally, there were a few boss mechanics that were tied to colors that made it difficult for players with color blindness. Nexon has addressed these by adding minor details that you might not have noticed. In Will's first phase, the purple dimension has cracks surrounding it, while the blue one does not. In Guardian Angel Slime, the 4 gates have different emoticons above their gates, indicating the different colors. In Gloom, the falling debris have different symbols on them to indicate the status debuff. These changes preserve the mechanics while making them more readable, and they're a great foundation to build on. Firstly, better native controller support. This improves the accessibility for players who can't comfortably use a keyboard and mouse. In a game that incentivizes you to grind for hours on end, it'd be beneficial to make more comfortable and accessible to a wider audience. This solves the issue of using third-party programs such as Steam, as well as gives a safe feeling while using a controller. Another idea would be better UI scaling. Other games allow you to change the size of the different UI elements, while we can only change the size of the font. Being able to scale important UI elements such as the HP bars, the buffs, or alerts would significantly help low vision players and players who play further back from their screens. Next, a familiar mute toggle in the sound settings would alleviate the clutter of sounds. Currently, familiar sounds are tied to the monster sound effects, and when you turn on the monster sound effects, you're constantly blasted by loud familiar sounds. The skill notification system in its current iteration is beneficial, however, there's a few issues with it. All of the notifications currently use the same sound effect. This makes it hard to distinguish what came up unless you're looking at the bottom right of your screen. And lastly, the notification is hard to see because of its size. When I'm bossing on my Blaze Wizard, when I hear a skill notification, because I play those zoomed in, I generally go down the list of all my skills until one works. To address this, being able to change the location of the notification could help. Another fix would be allowing different sounds for different skills as well. This could be done by using a Dropbox like the presets UI. A priority audio mode toggle could help improve the clarity for important sound cues. They could implement this by ducking all the other sounds or playing the important sounds louder. Bosses like Lotus, Saren, and Kalos have sound cues tied to their attacks. However, they are hard to hear due to all the other clutter in the background. There's also audio cues for continuous ring and ring swap that can be hard to hear while bossing. There's also other sounds such as rune spawning, star forcing, cubing, mob spawning, and more. Finally, improved boss cues or a priority graphics toggle would help the visual clarity of the game. Game developers often avoid using large cues or outlines because it can break the immersion or be too much clutter. However, as we've seen with Lucid's Dragon Breath indicator, where it covers the entire screen in a green fog, being able to turn on character outlines and skill opacity, it's clear that Nexon is okay with breaking immersion in order to give visual clarity to the player. To further on skill opacity, we should be able to toggle skill changing backgrounds or skills that make it difficult to see. Boss mechanics like Kalos Bubbles, Saren Test, or Black Mage's Phase 2 FMA indicators should be larger or a different color to clearly see. Laser attack patterns from Saren, Slime, and Kalos systems are difficult to see. There's good sound cues, however just knowing they're coming isn't enough. It's important to know where they're shooting as well. The laser indicator could show like Gloom's tentacle, where it's accurately sized red indicator prior to it shooting. Will's second phase test, where you need to get hit or dodge, should have a large indicator rather than just the floor cracking. This slight texture change is difficult to see. They could use an eye opening for crack or even text. They do this in slime. When a gold wave appears, there's a text, and there isn't one when it's a regular wave. However, in Will, there's a text queue for both scenarios. The difficulty should come from the decision making and not the perception limits. Right now, the challenge isn't can you react correctly, it's can you physically see a subtle texture change. Lastly, Varus strings are extremely hard to see because the indicator is a dark green on top of another dark green background. As a low vision player myself, these feel impossible to see and are extremely frustrating. A fix for this would be to up the saturation of the strings to how Colling's threads are all neon colored and visually easy to see. Thank you for watching. I'd love to hear what suggestions or improvements you would like to see in the comments below. I'm not entirely sure if this video would be seen by Nexon, but they've been doing a lot of good improvements recently, and it'd be really cool to see any one of these changes implemented.